Good evening, this is William, and welcome to the latest installment of I Was a Teenage Daydreamer, where I discuss mostly music, some literature, some film, and some random things that I enjoy, and hopefully you do as well. Tonight I'm beginning a new series called All You Need Is One. This is where I take an artist, and of all their entire catalog, there's really only one album that I enjoy and that I actively listen to, and the rest of them I don't really have much use for. So we're going to just dive right into it. The first one is Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction from 1987. Of course, most folks between the ages of 30-something and 60-something should be familiar with this band. They were very popular in the late 80s and early 90s, and their myth lives on. But I very much remember seeing the Welcome to the Jungle video for the first time, probably on something like Headbangers Ball. I was in 8th grade, and I remember going to science class the next Monday, where a bunch of my music friends were, and we were all yapping about that song and that video and that guy with the big hair. And Axl looked cool. Had the big teased out hair, the makeup, the way he moved around the stage and maneuvered that microphone stand. You had Slash with those curls and that top hat, and everyone's wondering what is going on with that top hat. Duff looked really cool, had that sneer and the way he had the bass slung down low. Izzy aloof in the background, but had a certain presence about him. And of course, Steven Popcorn Adler living his best life behind the drums. So, in my opinion, Appetite for Destruction is the second meanest album of all time. And I don't mean things like Cannibal Corpse and Gwar, where that's the whole deal. I mean real life, raw, visceral, unfiltered, no holds barred, mean album. The opening track is Welcome to the Jungle, and everything after that is pretty much an adventure through a wild time. You go straight from that song into It's So Easy, a super misogynistic song. He does not pretend that it's not. I feel like this album is Axl Rose's confessional time from, time of childhood to when he came to LA to make it big, and all the things that were going on. He was putting them down in his lyric book and then spewed them all out here on this album. Night Train, which is about whiskey. I'm almost positive it's got to be about that. And Out to Get Me, Absolute Paranoia, Mr. Brownstone, heroin all day long, very gritty, very real. Paradise City, one song on here that I would be happy if I never heard it again. It is a good song. I love the riff. It is very reminiscent of, I think, Disturbing the Priest from Black Sabbath's Born Again from a few years before. But that's okay. Show us where your influences came from. We all love that. And then side 2 is when it really comes together for me. My Michelle, obviously a nod to the Beatles classic, but in a completely different vein than what Paul McCartney was all about. Think About You, the closest breath of actual real sentiment on here, and yet it's bittersweet. Very bittersweet. Somebody's lost. Sweet Child of Mine, perhaps their quintessential song. It has everything in it that Guns N' Roses were great at that time and ever. Great guitar licks, amazing solo, anthemic chorus, emotive, beautiful, heavy at times, inventive. Again, these guys didn't sound like anyone else. The whole Where Do We Go Now breakdown, that wasn't happening in rock and roll music at the time. No, not at all. You're Crazy, which is a nice heavy rocker, had a pretty cool acoustic version a little bit later on the Lies EP. Anything Goes, a little bit of a fluff throwaway type song, might have been better as a B-side, but it's fine tucked here at the back of the album. But then, of course, the epic closer, Rocket Queen. I mean, this album, start to finish, is really fantastic. Again, 53 minutes. It does not seem that long to me at all. So again, in my opinion, the second meanest album in the world. These guys did not hold back. These guys partied hard. They lived hard. You saw it there, in the videos, having a good time, living the ultimate rock and roll lifestyle. And then, of course, all the drama, especially later on. And then Patience came out. And Patience is a fine song. But this is when, that's when these guys ceased to be a threat. And as I said before, Think About You, Sweet Child of Mine, they've got some nice sentimental moments, but Patience is just a flat out sappy love song. Again, it's fine, but whatever. And then you've got your Use Your Illusion albums. You Should Be Mine is a pretty good song. Civil War is a great song. There's a couple others here and there. I honestly have not heard either one of those albums front to back in their entirety. I was sick to death at that point of Axl's tortured artist posturing and all this nonsense. Maybe I'm missing out on some good music because I couldn't tolerate his antics. But I will say that I embrace what he had going on here in this first album. And part of that's going to be nostalgic because, again, I was 13, 14 years old when this first came out. It was very influential to me. We all listened to it like crazy. I know it front to back. And it is a perfect, fantastic album. Everything else after that, I don't really have any use for. Of course, I've never even heard Chinese Democracy. And again, their legend lives on. Their infamy lives on. They're still selling out big venues and things like that. And that's great. More power to them. They gave Tommy Stinson from The Replacements a job for a really long time. He probably made more money sitting around waiting for Axl to come into the studio than he ever made in The Replacements times 50. So, that's cool. I'm down with all of that. Anyway, so, One Is All You Need, Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, 1987. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've got an album that you think there's only one that you need from that artist. Click like and subscribe if you are so inclined. But what's most important is that you keep doing what you love. Thanks.